text me and you said it was breaking your heart to hear these ladies speak. Tell me what you felt when they were talking about their experiences.
Well, listening to what the lady said earlier, it hurts my heart, and I agree with what the young lady said earlier. The simple fact that, how can you have a child out in this world and you not be a part of that child's life? That really hurts me to my core. I am a father myself. I have a son who's 7 years old, and I couldn't imagine a day without taking care of my son and not knowing how my son is doing. So my heart really goes out to the women who have fathers who have been absent in their life. I do feel as though in life that it's important to have a balance. I think mothers are important and fathers are important. And that I feel as though that, without a father, a child can be off balance. And it's important for both to be equally in a child's life.
Wow. So when you think about, what do you ladies think about that? First of all, with hearing both men speak, what do you think?
I mean, I agree. I personally don't feel like I've ever been, and I think being younger, it's kind of one of those things that I've noticed in my age bracket. A lot of females get bitter about their children's father, and they may, do things to prevent them from being in their lives. And me personally, I feel some type of way about that, given my situation where I would love for them to actually be there. And it's not necessarily, again, I'm speaking for me, it's not necessarily a financial thing. Because like I said before, I'm going to make a way. My sons are going to be good regardless. But sometimes it's some of those things, being a black woman, I don't know about. I've never been a male. I've been a woman. I've been a female since I came to this earth. So it's certain things that a man may have to deal with that I'm not going to know anything about. There are certain conversations, I have a son now who's entering puberty, and I am freaking out to the max because I'm like, ooh, I don't know how this conversation is about to go because I'm so uncomfortable with talking to him about this. I don't even want to tell him why it's up and not down. I don't even want to talk about that. It really it's not funny, y'all. I'm so serious right now. He came to me and he's like, Ma, I got hair, under my arm. And then, a couple days later, he's like, I got hair. And I was like, whoa, yeah, not ready for that. I'm so not ready. And I'm just I'm calling my male friends, what do I say? I don't know what to say to him. Because in your head, it's that's my baby boy. I don't want to think about that with him. No, that's not my job. That's your job. You handle that.
So
with me personally, I would just prefer, them to be there. They'll have those conversations that I really don't know about. I don't.
Right. So,
can I want to add to that.
Absolutely.
And having saying that, we know that, what comes from puberty becomes emotions and feelings in relationships, right?
Oh,
so I trust and believe that you have a close relationship with your son. So with that said, I think that if a father is absent and a mom and a son has a close relationship, that is very important for moms to communicate to a son what really hurts a woman and what a woman really expects as far as respect in relationships. Because if the son is really attached to that mom and the mom explains to them what really hurts a woman and you talk to your son about it, that would help kind of curtail some of the things that they do in a relationship that a father's not there to tell them, but it explains how it hurts a mom and mom and yourself. That would help them develop in having healthy and productive relationships. Of course, they can't replace a father, but it will have some type of effect in having that close conversation with your son.
I think that's excellent advice, Saeed. Okay, so let me ask. So, Chris, you on the line still? Chris? I'm not sure if he's still there. Do we have other callers on the line? Okay. I wanted to ask him in about that in reverse because he's raising a daughter. So I definitely wanted to ask him what he thought about that. But so Valencia, when you hear Mr. Hill speak and he's talking about,
I'm here.
okay, and when you hear him talking about him feeling your pain and he's talking about emotions and he's talking about how you should respond to your child, like LaShawna said, when they're going through puberty, you have a 13-year-old. So did you have that conversation? So how did you approach that?
He won't have no girlfriend. He won't have nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. That you know about.
Right. But no, I trust me. I think, to be very honest, all the experiences that I had bad with men, I take those feelings that I have and I try to talk to him about it. I don't try to have secrets with my son. I don't let him know all gory details, but I always keep it 100 with him because I want him to be able to come to me. But when he sees me hurt in certain things that go on with me, he's always confident. You know, he won't. I just think you should always just be able to have that conversation because I understand her. He got hair stuff going in places, honey. I'm like, I asked the doctor, is there a way we can just hold that off for a couple of years? You know, like, can we, like, you know how you freeze the lemon eggs and stuff? Can we, like, freeze that bottom part right there? No kids. But the reality of it is that no, the father isn't there. But at the same given time, I have male friends. I have pretty good male friends. You know, they talk to me, or they have built such a strong bond with him. They'll talk to him. Now, the only thing that I would need, I really would like the energy behind. I'm just tired of repeating myself. Clean your room. Why you do that?
I just did a Facebook post today and said, men, why is it that men just don't listen? So it's not going to change when your son grows up.
No, hey, let's not live back. I'm not raising children. Let's not live back.
But
look at you. I can understand where she's coming from, but she is younger. I just take my situation, my pain, my hurt, and I try to show him this is what you do. You hold the door. You say, good morning, good afternoon. They don't raise kids like that no more.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I do that because, like I said, I was raised by my grandmother because I'm
right.
If I
so
had
that's
been
the thing.
old school than me, yeah.
Right. But I feel you though. But I take a lot of experience from my grandmother. I take a lot of that. I'm not scared to break my son down in public. Ain't no police gonna keep me from doing nothing. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
Right.
So you can take me to jail. You can call, like Medea says, you can call 911. You can call 919 by the time I'm done. But the thing is, nothing's ever gonna come easy. But eventually you just have to I just take my experiences and I just try to show him this is what you do, this is what you don't do. And always if
Can I ask a question?
Sure. To me?
Can I ask a question? Yeah, I want to answer a question because you just made me think of something and you both may be able to answer. How do you find that balance between, like, you want to show, like, I want to be, like, I'm honest with my son,
mm-hmm.
but I also feel like I have to protect them. So where do you find the balance between being too honest with them and then just being real?
You have to be, and that's a good question. And I did this with both of my daughters, and they're 6.5 years apart. And I was very honest and very raw with them. You have to meet them at their age. You have to be honest with them. Even when I had the sex talk with them, I was very honest. I said, when a man touches you, it's going to feel good when he touches your arm. You're going to feel, you got to keep it, try not to make it graphic because it has to go according to their age. But I believe in being honest with your children. And if you're talking about are you talking about just anything? Are you talking about their dads in their life? What are you talking about? Their dads missing?
I'm talking in general, like for instance, I'm sorry, I forgot. Is it Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, like, Mr. Hill was saying, like, how I should take, and don't get me wrong, I thought it was the great advice, and it was definitely a different way of looking at it, but, like, taking, maybe the things that hurt me and teach that to my sons, like, what would, like, hurt a woman so that they know to do the opposite, so to speak. Where do you find that boundary in that? Like,
Okay, well, I hear what you're saying, right? But I'm kind of nervous to be so raw on like live radio, so I'm trying to like edit myself.
No, you can. No, you can definitely be open.
But okay, me being I'm exposed to a lot of kids every day, and one thing that I found out, like kids are going to hear stuff before you're ready to talk about it. Gotcha. So, me, myself, when I heard things that my parents kept me from, I was confused. Certain words and slang words I heard about body parts I never heard before from my parents. I was kind of confused on what those words meant and what it was all about. So, my advice would be to be as honest as you can be with your children. And like Miss Lanice said, like, you know, even though you want to be age appropriate, the world is not age appropriate.
Mm-mm.
So, you know, I had a parent tell me, Miss Lee, can I be honest real quick?
Yeah.
So I had a parent, because I go to parent meetings all the time. I had a parent that had a son in the 2nd grade, and he came to his mother and said, "Mom, what is a pocket P?" You can fill the rest out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pocket cat, but the bad word.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, who was going to tell that 8-year-old what the P word is? But they already heard it. So, unfortunately, the world is not age-appropriate anymore. And luckily that they had an open relationship with each other. He came home and said something to his mother. But if a child feels like they can't talk to the mom, they're wondering what that word is, what it means. And society's going to teach them the raw meaning of the word.
I agree.
Without mom and dad really guiding them in exactly what it means, that it is a derogatory term and it shouldn't be used.
So you want to find out, LaShawna, you want to find out what your children already know. Because you can be protecting them from a word or something, and they already know what it is. So you need to find out what they're talking about in school, you know, what you're listening to on, you know, on the radio or here. Because even if you are in the car and you don't allow them to listen to certain music, they're going to hear it. You know, they're going to hear certain words and certain things like Mr. Hill said. So you want to, and I definitely believe in fishing with your kids. But you have to have conversations with your kids. You have to sit down and talk to them. You want to find out what they know first. Because if you find out what they know, you will be surprised that they know more than you thought that they even knew. So you may not have to start at square one or step one. You might be able to go to 3 or 4. So you want to find out what they know. And like Mr. Hill said, these kids are getting growner and growner. You know, he's, like he said, he's exposed to kids. He mentors children, a lot of different things. And he's 2nd grade. I remember my oldest daughter was in the 9th grade. And she was asked, she said, well, what is, and I'm going to be graphic. She said, what is finger popping? And I was like, oh. So as soon as she said that, and that was right. Well, I never heard it at all. I mean, well, that was when she was in the 9th grade. She was 14. She just turned 24. So that was 10 years ago. And when she came home, and that's what I'm saying, we had that relationship. We already had it established where my kids can ask me anything. Sometimes they'll be saying stuff, you know, or hearing stuff, and they're very comfortable saying things as far as, you know, asking questions and us discussing things. And they've been like that for forever. So I think it's important to build that relationship and have that open line of communication where you're not snapping and you're not saying, well, don't talk about that. Oh, we can't talk about that. You want to meet them where they are. And like I said, you'll be surprised to see what they already know or not even know what they hear. So I was like, okay, as soon as my daughter asked me that. Go ahead.
Kind of jumping on the back of what your topic was, Miss Lanice, like about the importance of a dad. You know, I remember one time, you know, my son came home, you know, visiting his mom, whatever, and he sat down on the toilet to go to the bathroom, and I almost stroked out. And, like, you know, they see what their mom's doing, and I had to teach my son, hey, look, you stand up to go to the bathroom. And I was looking at social media posts, and, you know, they talk about kids who pull their pants down to their ankles to go to the bathroom versus fathers that would teach them to pull it through the hole. So, like we were saying earlier, the importance of a father is really there. Because, you know, you got some, you know, guys who might just drop their pants to go to the bathroom. You can't drop your pants in the ankle and stand at the urinal versus going to a toilet. So I think that, you know, it's very important.
Something as simple as that.
That.
Something as simple as that.
Wow. That. Like, I can't teach a female how to braid their hair. I can't teach a female about menstrual cycles.